the fear of unknown. Like the fear of the unknown is what most people are like afraid of. Like people are afraid of, what that shit's a that shit should be can be a driver for people. Like not knowing what's next, not knowing what's to come, but throwing yourself in the fire. I have been in. I think most of the fights I've been into, I don't think I've ever. Yeah, probably once I antagonized the fight, but I didn't really like do nothing. I put my hand on his shirt. My bad, William. My bad. We went to junior high school together. He didn't speak English that good. I think that I got the karma of his cousin put a machete to my neck. Uh, yeah. Ooh. But yeah, I've never antagonized the fight, but that's because that fear of the unknown, not knowing if I could whip your ass or not. But I've always defended myself. I've always defended myself. Always stood up for myself. Now, I think the difference between like a warrior and a regular civilian, a civilian will defend themselves. I think with a warrior comes natural. It comes natural to feel like you're Top Gun, you're ace, you're number one. You can't help that. You have to have that mentality, I think, as a warrior. And I think I think I'm learning that now when I've been seeing all these 30 for 30 documentaries on ESPN. Like I've watched Mike Tyson's highlights. I speak about Mike Tyson a lot. Who doesn't? If you're like 25, 30 years old and you're older, you know Mike Tyson. I don't know about younger. You might know his knockouts and everything, but a lot of people got to feel his impact. And I'm at that age where I want to feel his impact. So I have to deep dive and look back at his history. And when I look at Mike's history, I'm like, shit, monster. But then when you hear his reasoning, he was like, yo, I was always so insecure. I always had to like prove myself. Like, Mike got, I think he went from like house to house. He had like broken home, was adopted, and Gus D'Amato took him in, and Gus D'Amato trained him, told him he's gonna be a champion of the world. I think Mike Tyson was 16 and like 175 pounds. They didn't believe it. They didn't believe he was that much weight because he was so fucking. The things that shaped him to be this warrior, and then he got somebody to home in on his skills and bring that warrior spirit out of him. Now to the point where Mike is sitting there like, I don't like going to the gym because it boosts my ego. I can't ignite my ego again because that's what turned me into the person that I was. And yet he's still right now he's hitting pads, right? What does that tell you? It's something he couldn't help. That warrior spirit within him, in my opinion, it's the reason why he's able to have his Mike Tyson recreational camp. It's the reason why he was able to come up out of all the stuff and have his special on I think it was on, I don't know if it was Netflix or something, but he had a special HBO special or something like Showtime, something like that, where he was talking about what pigeons meant to him, and he told his whole life, and people in the crowd actually. He's not a comedian. He's telling his real life, but people are laughing not because he'll come out to the crowd and beat you up, but they're laughing because you would never even thought this. You would never even thought what makes up a warrior. So I watched this documentary with Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson called Chasing Tyson. Yo, Holyfield, before I saw that, I saw Holyfield on Mike Tyson's hot box. That's such a magical moment to see these two rival men. Yo, he bit his ear. Like, Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear. You know what that is to get your ear bitten off? Like, and he bit him twice. And then Mike Tyson said it, yo, I couldn't win. I couldn't beat him. So I was getting frustrated. Not to mention your fucking headbutts, Evander. You got a big ass head, bro. Like regular people, if they get headbutted by you, they're gonna get knocked the fuck out. That's just like a fist in itself. I could understand Mike's frustration, but a warrior would have found a way to get around that. In that time, he was a beaten man. So when I watched Evander Holyfield on Mike Tyson's Hot Box, it was more on Evander's story. Evander came from like a big family, but his parents worked and everything, and his mom told him his mom wouldn't let him be a quitter. His mom wouldn't let him be a quitter. When he went to boxing and he got his ass whooped, he didn't want to tell his mom because he was afraid. He was scared that his mom would fuck him up, and his mom did fuck him up all the time. You know what I mean? But he couldn't lie to her. He tells a story, and I don't want to paraphrase the wrong way. So if you get a chance, go look at Mike Tyson Hot Box with Evander Holyfield. Really, really good interview. But he was pressured all through his life. He says, and I tried to screenshot. I could probably screenshot it, but he says I was always told I was too small. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough. I couldn't do it. I was always told that. And then when it came to a person like Mike Tyson being his rival or in his way, this documentary, they tried to fight like at least 4 times prior. It was always a situation. Like Tony Ferguson and fucking Khabib. It's always a situation. They tried to fight prior. They tried to get Holyfield when he was in his prime. Tyson when he was in his prime. Then Tyson goes to jail. Holyfield goes ahead and gets the belt. And Holyfield also gets sick. He caught some form of cancer, if I'm not mistaken. And then he went to a healer, and a healer healed him. Listen, I don't know if I believe in all that, but I do believe in what I see. What I saw in that documentary, to see how you're never really complete until you complete yourself. Holyfield didn't have to fight Tyson. He could have said, fuck it. Twice at that, he fought him. He didn't have to fight him at all. He could have said, fuck it. Man was out of jail. I already got the championship. Fuck, I got to fight for him. I just beat cancer or whatever he beat. What fuck I got to fight for? I've been fighting all my life. Look, I won this fight. But inside, there was still a battle he was losing, and that was with himself. He would not feel complete unless he went ahead and stepped up to this challenge. Win, lose, or draw. He would not feel complete unless he stepped up to that challenge. As a warrior, you never feel complete until you step up to that challenge. And I don't give a fuck if it's finishing a song, finishing a video. I don't give a fuck what it is in your life. Being a father, I don't give a fuck what it is in your life. Being a good friend, being a good family member, I don't give a fuck what it is in your life. Being the best architect, being the best scientist. There's a challenge within yourself that if you never fulfill and you never go ahead and step up to the plate and challenge yourself, you'll never feel complete as a person. And Holyfield knew that shit going into that fight. Tyson wasn't there yet. Tyson was just so much of a warrior. He just, everything in my fucking path. Everything in my path, I'm going to knock down. I'm the champion of the world. Yo, Tyson, don't, I hope nobody ever clips me and he comes after me for that. I'm not making fun of you. And a lot of other people did. So you should beat up Eddie Murphy too. But yo, honestly, what I got to see from Tyson, he confident as fuck. I ain't going to lose. Fuck, I'm going to lose. Lose to who? Please, I lost the bus. That's it. I lost the Buster. That's it. I went to jail and I came back out and I beat the next man in under a minute in the first round. That's it. Who am I gonna lose to? Who? Holyfield? This old man that just beat a fucking cat? This old man? Yo, he thought he was a killer until he got stopped by a person that had bigger adversity in his challenge. All his life he was being challenged, just like Tyson. What separated the two in that moment? Was it skill? Was it heart? What was it exactly? Was it the fact that they weren't the best of the best at the time? Would a best of the best Tyson beat the best of the best Holyfield? How can you say that when Tyson lost twice? You know, when you really think about it and put these things into perspective, it's such a great warrior story to see what these men did for us. Yo, they grew up in the era where Mike Jordan, Mike Tyson, Michael Jackson, like where the mics thrived. They grew up in I always say the 90s and the 80s were the golden eras, yo. Golden eras. You guys got to make so much money from doing illegal shit. There was no camera and no footage before like Giuliani came in and stopped the fucking mafia. You know what I mean? Like you guys got to do shit freely in a sense. And through that, we got our warriors and our monsters. Yo, we wouldn't get Holyfield if his mom didn't whip his ass with whippets. We wouldn't get Tyson if he didn't come from a broken home and Gus D'Amato didn't train him and saw something in this fucking black man. He's a white man. He saw something in this black man. Yo, we wouldn't get a Joey Diaz if an Italian family didn't take him in. We wouldn't get a Joe Rogan if his father was fucking never there. You know, all these things that occur, they occur for a reason. When I had the pleasure of watching a 30 for 30 on ESPN, watching Lance, watching Bruce Lee be like water, watching fucking Buster Douglas, 42-1. That was the odds against Buster Douglas when he beat Mike Tyson. 42-1. Yo, if the odds aren't stacked against you at that rate, I don't know what is. All these things right here, all these positive things right here, they're given to us in a format where the negative can be understood. Listen, I don't know what it feels like to be a Mike Tyson, to have all these riches and jewelry and be 19, 20 years old and you can do whatever and buy whatever the fuck you want. I think bought like 2 tigers. He had a baby tiger, Robin Gibbons, fucking Brad Pitt in front of your house driving your car. I don't know what that is to be a Tyson. But I would never know his story unless he was more humbled or he was able to tell it for me to understand it. And that's what you get from the Chasing Tyson documentary. You don't, a lot of people don't really tell these stories. And I know it takes money for these companies to bring them there, but I do feel like it's a part of humility to tell the story truthfully. It's a part of yourself that you give. And the only way you get humbled is with time if you're not already humbled. You can't say these men were humbled. These men were warriors and gladiators. When it came to their shit, when it came to... Yo, Evander Holyfield was not humble because he stepped up to the challenge of this man is not going to go out and show me off or show me out. Now, everything has told me I couldn't get here. I got here. I'm here. Then you're going to go with Tyson. Tyson fought off of pure insecurities. Pure insecurities. I ain't good enough for nothing. Yo, you get the greatest people during those moments. And that's what these specials allow us to capture. So thank you, ESPN. Thank you, Mike Tyson. Thank you, Evander Holyfield. Thank you, Riddick Bowe. Thank all you athletes that put your heart on the line. Yo, Gilbert Burns, I'm upset at you. You've tested positive for COVID. I know it's not your fault, and I hope you get better. But goddamn, I wanted you to whip Kamaru Usman's ass. I hope Covington comes in and does the job, though, just to fucking come on his face. I don't like somebody holding a title for too long. It doesn't sit well with me. I think champions are all meant to be broken down, and a real champion gets back the fuck up. Yo, it's your boy OK. Everything is OK. Stop your shit. I'm out of here.